Thank you everyone for joining. Um, it's going to be a very interesting one tonight, and I would like to ask if whoever can to put the video on. Makes it so much more easy to see the faces of people. So we did a lot of preparation, and I know that it has been. I'm very happy here actually to see faces from people who believe in the vision for a long, long time now. And I want to start and open this meeting with saying it has been taking a very long time, much longer than I guess we had hoped for when we got started. But I also want to say that right now we are at this stage where we can go commercial and that things will start moving faster. But that means that we need to stop doing certain things we did in the past, not in a bad way, but just like learn from what worked and didn't work. Because as we all know, the first 1 billion tokens have been minted. And now we need to go to the next phase. I want to also say that I know that a lot of you invested with their time or hardware or money or whatever they did, that it's definitely our intention to try and put our energy to work and put our technology to work so that it can go to a place where everyone will feel happy and appreciated for what they've done. Please feel free to make this a very interactive meeting. There will be new terms, there will be new ideas, and again, I hope that I want us to look at the future rather than at the past, because we are at this very interesting stage that we need to put certain things in motion. I think we have a good plan, and we now need to do it all together to make it happen. Any questions or remarks so far? Anyone wants to say something? Maybe certain things you want to say up front? No? Okay. Please, guys, don't be shy. We're here with family. Share, introduction. Does that work on this tool? Can you see my screen? Can you click on it?
Worked very well. Yeah, we see.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good. And I still see. How can I still see the people? Oh, it's not too bad actually. Works. Okay. So where do I start? We're going to first thing to start with, and I'll show you some slides. So we have been talking to the crypto community for quite a while now, and we even managed to get some financing, and we're very grateful for that. And also we made a lot of new friends, which is of course very good. But we also learned that we're a little bit of a different animal. And sometimes it's hard for these investors to see who we are and where we fit. There is history and there is an existing token, and objectively spoken, the token is not doing very well. And then, we want to honor all our commitments, and it made that actually fundraise very, very difficult. So in September, I mentioned that on a previous call, we started fundraising for our tech company as well, because at the end we need to pay salaries and we need to make sure that people, we can keep on doing what we're doing right now. And that is actually working quite well. We got a lot of feedback also from people, from you guys, from also these investors. And one of them was that they said, look, right now it's a platform for techies. People don't know how to use this as an end user, and you need to change that. And you need to make sure that you also make a distinction with the past, and you might want to fix your communication, because that's definitely something we can do much better. So that's why one of the first things we're going to do now, the new platform we're launching, our version 4, will be running under another name. It will be called Project Mycelium. We mentioned that before. And that comes from the fact that at one point in time we made a network piece which we called Mycelium, and people loved that name. So we said, why not continue on that? And we basically have multiple phases. And so that's why we called it Project Mycelium. And I'm going to show a couple of slides which we use in our fundraise, as well as the token side as a non-token side. So the goal is the same, and allow me to spend like 5 or 10 minutes on this, and then we'll go in a more interactive way and try to answer a lot of questions you guys have. So the aim is exactly the same as what we started doing a long time ago, which is become a credible decentralized alternative to Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and so on. Not in a competitive way, in a complementary way, and build a true sovereign system. With some of us here on this call, we have been doing that a really long time ago. And I think we were too early, way too early. But since a year, people get it. Now, wherever we go, I mean, I just had again some incredible calls today. Man, people get it today. They're really like, okay, we want to have it and we want to have it now. So it's no longer showing the world that this needs to be done. It's more, how do we do this? And one of our tactics is that there are a couple of tactics, but one is that we show companies or people how they can use their infrastructure, their cost center, and make it a profit center. Okay, and that story works well. People get it. This document will give to you, so you prepared a little ebook if you want as preparation for this meeting. And one of the things we did there is I recognize that we are different, and I would like us to spend 1 minute on this, because that's probably one of the things we should have done better over the last years, making sure that we all believe in the same thing, and because sometimes that led to, at the end, I mean, personally very proud on what the community is doing and how they keep on going, which is really amazing. But I think it's important to know that we're all at the same line, right? So we are different. We stand for a system which is truly sovereign, and we wrote down what that means, actually. So we stand for like digital sovereignty, proven technology, open source. It needs to be real world utility, which is more important than speculation. And please, anyone, if you're on this call and you don't agree, or let us know. It's good to talk about that. And that we will talk more about. We believe in a stable dual token model. This was an idea for a long time, but we have never been able to execute it. We're changing the names. We'll come back onto that of what we said before. So it may sound as new, but it isn't. Not at all. These ideas are actually quite old. But we've listened to people who told us to change certain things. As an example, our token was called Inca, the new one, and people were saying, okay, that's maybe not a good idea. Inca is a dying token, it's a dying race, and so on, right? So we got feedback, and then we tried to sort of incorporate that so that we have a maximum probability in succeeding, right? So we're doing all these things. It's no point going over everything. You can read it yourself, but it's not about. Yes, I realize it took too long. We need to do something about that. But now is our time, more than anything. And today is the day that we will show you all the pieces we have prepared. So it's not about just hype. We will make mistakes, like we did, of course, before. We will all together learn. More and more people are joining us, actually, as we speak. And there are things which we need to improve on. Like we said, communication, we are so busy with coding and all the other things that we can definitely do better there. Commercial activities, documentation, community collaboration, we need to do better. It's a complaint we hear a lot. It's not that we want to, guys. We really do want to. And we would like to have more help from you guys. It's more, I guess, we together need to learn how to do that better. Because it's a complaint we hear before, right? Now let's do a reality check. And I ask you to even question this. Our project is ambitious. We've done a lot. There is a demand. And now what's happening with AI and everything around that, it's a very good time, right? So question number one is, and we tell that now sometimes to investors, say, look, do you believe it's important that a true alternative to centralized clouds are built? And if people say no, it's like maybe that you don't have to be here. If it's just about speculation on a token, then maybe we're not the right project. Look, don't get me wrong, there will be speculation at one point in time, and there is nothing wrong with that. But it starts from the first initial intention. Right? Question number two, do we know other people who are building a true sovereign alternative, and do they have the tech stack? Can they put it on hardware? Do they have the operating system? Do they? And so on, right? And I believe no, and and I wish there were more, actually. Question number three, do we want to execute? And the answer is yes. And then some people say, yeah, look, we're going to wait, right? And then we'll see what happens. Now, the reason I put that here is that we now need everyone to come on again and start putting these nodes in the field again, right? Because I think many of you have seen we're losing some nodes now, and that's not what we want. Now, the good news is that we have a lot of, and you will see that in the slides, we have actually off-takers ready, and we have also providers ready, hosters ready. So we have quite some people waiting for version 4 who will deploy many more nodes in a commercial context. Decentralized still, but like per project, 100 nodes, 200 nodes, like more, just to get started. Right? Nodes with AI, nodes without AI. Some projects are bigger, like 5 million. So this is happening. We're getting now people who are ready. So now I hope that many people now who are on this call who are maybe a little bit nervous of the token performance or maybe even certain information they didn't get before, we will be as committed to the community as we were before, and everything we do is to make sure that the community is well taken care of, but we're also adding commercial capacity to it just to grow faster. If we are serious about this aim of building a cloud which can compete with these big boys, we need millions of nodes, not thousands. And for that, we need a lot of commercial parties following as well. Now, because of AI, and I'm not going to do all the slides, you will have them later, things are accelerating at a very fast speed. It's a trillions of dollar market opportunity. Okay, so this is huge, and that means that we have more than enough to do something. Now, we had to learn how to pitch it, by the way. We now pitch this in a more low level way, where we basically tell them, look, there are lots of centralized data centers being built. They're huge, they're vulnerable, they consume a lot of energy, and we need to do the alternative. We need to put small boxes in the field. We need to put containers in the field. And that's now what is happening. So I'm showing this to you guys so you see that there is also a strategy behind to make money for commercial people and that this is actually happening. We have a roadmap, right? Not a roadmap, we have a funnel. And we're talking with some lead investors as we speak. So the TRS data centers are containers. Some of you have seen them before. There will be some great partnerships being announced around hardware, and so we can do our own inference. I cannot just announce them yet, but some partners I can, like TenStorrent, super cool stuff. It's like an NVIDIA alternative. So we literally can do things even without NVIDIA or with NVIDIA, we can do both. And we come to very cost-effective way how to do it. And then obviously there is the tier H, which is the boxes in the homes. We now need to start promoting them again. We need to invite people. Of course, we have a chicken and the egg problem right now, right? People are not going to put them if they don't understand the tokenomics, if they don't understand how they will make money out of it. So now I think all of that is now ready. And now also if people want to help us, whenever we are financed, we will also have some more money available so that we can also extend our own workforce, I should say it like that, I guess, but our own, basically reward more people to be part of this and bring this out. Before I go into a little bit more detail and show the tokens, any questions so far or any disagreement or all good so far? Yes? Okay, then I get courage to keep on going.
Good. No question in the chat.
Question in the chat, Nick, or not? Or no?
No, I'm saying it looks good. There is no question in the chat except some technical stuff that we're taking care of. Good.
Okay, thank you, Nick. So the way how it looks like, again, we're not doing new stuff. We're just productizing it, making it more commercial, but yet still community-driven and commercial at the same time. So the containers are between $5 and $20 million. So it's not like that we're quickly going to put one of those in our backyard. So that needs to be more for like cooperatives or people who have the funds for that. Then you have the nodes like in between. These are these TenStorrent workstations. They're really awesome. Today with the new models, you can absolutely do crazy things. And they are about, for these I actually don't know it, but for the bigger ones about 2 times as fast as what NVIDIA does for the same dollar. For the smaller ones, we still need to test it. But now even the small ones, I'm not sure if you guys were following, but these small new nodes are incredible. What's coming out of them? You can run decent models on a box of $2,000. So the cloud is the first thing we did. We sell in cloud, but that's version 3. That's still with credit cards. It's much more easy now. We have now the Mycelium network. If some people of you are using it, there's a VPN inside. So it's all, a lot of things are now coming out which are much more easy to use for people. But the one which I'm going to show after that is the Mycelium, the VDC. So now we're making it even more easy. And then we have the network, which is now there, and the AI agent framework. We used to call it just AI agents, but we learned that it's better to call it a framework for AI agents rather than AI agents by itself, so people can build agents on top, however they want. So this is our roadmap. You guys know this. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. The Mycelium Cloud is there for a long time, on top of Threefold, of course. And now that's live. We soft launched it. People are playing with it. It's working well. So it's using credit cards, and you can put your clusters in. But we need to make it more user friendly. Now, Kubernetes is the most used cloud system in the world. So again, for technical people, it's good enough and it's nice, and they can deploy. You can make redundant workloads and so on. The Mycelium network has these things. Again, badly documented, but today we can host websites which cannot go down on it. And now in Q1, we're going to build an interface on top of Mycelium Cloud and Mycelium Network. The only purpose that layer has is to make it super easy for people to deploy applications on top of version 4. It will be all version 4, so that you can deploy your own self-healing apps. We had them in the marketplace today as well, but that was not for the self-healing yet, and also not to the extension that it runs into Kubernetes and into your virtual environment, and then there will be these agents. So that's kind of the roadmap. But
Christoph, there's a question from Carl in the chat.
Can someone read the question?
Did you build a prototype of the containers already, or are they a concept until now?
The first one will be built in Interlaken in Switzerland by a company, I cannot mention the name, I guess, but a GV we're part of, where we have the first initial part of the fundraise committed, and that will be the first container. All the preparation work has been done. That GV partner will build it, will deploy it. We know all the guys who will deliver their parts of it. So the answer is no, it has not been deployed. But the good news is that we have a first tangible one where it should be up and running. Well, that's difficult to say, but let's say between 4 and 6 months, we should have it up and running in Interlaken. And then we can go and see it and feel it. It will be a $5 million one, the first one. And most of the preparation work has been done. But it's not live yet. We have more of them where people want to buy them. And that's the chicken and the egg we have right now. That's why we're fundraising in GeoMind. Because to do this, we need more financing, right? Because we're all self-financed, as you know. And we need that. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you. So the virtual data center thing is, these applications on top of Mycelium Network and Mycelium Cloud. That will be all part of the commercial offering. People will pay with credit cards or digital, they can choose, but they come in through a stablecoin. And then this is what we show to our investors. So the aim is to have a lot of users, and that way we can get to good revenue. And that's what I will explain how that works. But basically, it goes into our digital marketplace, and then 10% is burned. Most of you know that already. 80% goes to the farmer, and 10% goes to Threefold or Project Mycelium. These are a couple of things we worked on. You saw them probably before. So that's the Interlaken one, the Zanzibar digital free zone, our education platform. This is the biggest one, ICA. We did a kickoff event in Dubai in September. It was a very big success. And this is a community with 1.2 billion people. We're now working with them to see how to roll this out. There are multiple parts of this, like there are actually a lot of projects missing onto this slide. We have about 6 off-takers and about 6-7 bigger hoster projects. A lot with renewable energy. One is like floating solar panels on water. One is microgrids in Kenya. One is in South Africa. One is in Interlaken. So yeah, there are a couple more. So we were getting some. One is a very nice project, Wind City in France. So we're getting some nice, people who will put more capacity in the field next to other people who will use that capacity. So that's what we're doing now. We're actually reaching out to both sides. Okay. This is how, I'm just trying to. I'm probably potentially giving you too much information, but anyhow, so that's the way how we are going out for the token raise, but we don't have to go into details here. But that way you understand that how we do it. So basically, we're giving people shares and tokens right now, and we have a way how to connect back, and that's what we're going to talk about. These are the initial investors that money has already been used. We're now running still self-finance and on a bridge, and the operational companies in Dubai, and that's where then people will have their shares, and that's what we already explained before. So that's all not new, and we're saying this for a long time. 10% of the revenue is burned, 10% is margin for the project. We want to be top 10 deep in project. The TGE, that's the token event, will be first inside our marketplace. We call it Spore, so that's one news from today. So rather than Inca, which we didn't get the best connotation on, we're going to call it Spore. And Spore has to do with mycelium, right? And because we got a lot of good response there. And it's now our aim to be a top 10 deep in project in 2026, where we want to connect the providers to the consumers, roll out containers, and we're fundraising to make that happen, basically. So if there is any question, feel free to ask. So how does it work? We hope to launch that beginning of 2026. The full thing, it's a big thing. So people will buy Spore. No, actually it's wrongly put here. They buy. Okay, let me go to the other document. Economics. No, that's the VDC. Where is the economics one? Here. So you have access to all this information if you want to dive in. So that's our economics book. We invite you to really go through this. We made some changes compared with what we already talked about in September, and we're looking forward. We used your feedback, but also feedback from investors, but also feedback from the tokenomics system, of the tokenomics team. And we just came up with the next iteration. So I think we're getting very close now. And of course, we're more than we're looking forward and to get your feedback. So let's start with the hosting part that I think everyone knows by now. Nothing changed. If you own a node, you will have slices. So that's a node into parts, right? So people can buy a full node, or it's like a pizza. I don't remember who came up with that idea of a slice, but it came from a pizza. I said, okay, we were looking for something how to cut a machine into pieces. And said, okay, why don't we call it a slice, like a pizza? And you have a slice of that machine, right? So you can take the full machine, or you can take a part of the machine, because this is one of the things we're having now. We don't use all the hardware good enough, because sometimes a machine is only used for too much memory or too much SSD, and then we cannot use all the capacity. So that's why we believe the slice is a better idea. And then people can rent your resources, these slices. We took some ideas from Vast.ai as well, which is one of these places where you can rent GPUs, which is, there are bits inside the system. So Threefold or Project Mycelium will have constant bits out. So that means if you're a farmer, and this is really, really important, if you're a farmer, you know that you have a base revenue because you can just accept these bits, right? And then that capacity is being bought, and then we build solutions on top, or we give it away for free to people, and we use our treasury to do that. So rather than just giving grants, if you want, or just like what we're doing now, minting new tokens, we basically use treasury and we use incoming money to buy capacity from whoever, as threefold, from whoever wants to use those bits. Now, those bits, those offtake proposals, if you want, are not the most expensive ones. In other words, as a farmer or as a hoster, you will make more money by having other customers, right? So we're not paying a premium. The threefold is just paying enough to give you a certain return over a certain period. So it still makes it more beneficial for a hoster, for a farmer, to sell their slices onto the marketplace. But that way there is a guaranteed sort of income for machines which are reputable enough and reliable enough. Okay, so that's a really important thing to understand. So that means that from the moment that this thing is live, you can literally just receive a basic income if you want, and then that capacity will be used by design. We have some large off-takers, like 3,000 developers in East Africa as an example. It's just one example, but there are more where then we can also give then capacity to, and we try to use free capacity and link it to paying capacity. So the payment is split. So how it happens, so people come in through, so there are two currencies, and I know that's a little bit confusing, but people won't see that. I just want to explain it to the community here, but there are two currencies, and this comes from Bernard Littard, from look, you need the yin currency and the yang currency to really get to a solid system. So in this case, the yin currency is gold, and we call that one Aura. I believe it just changed. It went from Cloud Credit to Aura, if I'm not mistaken. Just a new one. What is it? Aura. That's the yin currency. So that's like a stable currency. It's gold, right? So why gold? This was a question we were getting from people. Is gold not too unstable? I guess it's how you look at it. I personally believe gold is more stable than a dollar, but it's just a matter how we look at it. The dollar is losing a lot of value. Gold doesn't. So yeah, I mean, any currency, no matter which one you take, has fluctuations. So we needed to select one, and I believe the safest one for our community, personally, I believe gold is a good one. And it's also, there are gold tokens, so we don't have to do that ourselves. And then you have the spore, which is the reward for the hosters. So the way how it happens, people come in with their credit card or through digital currency, and that gets translated to OR, and OR goes in your wallet. So in your wallet, you have now gold, right? And you can then, with that gold, buy your goods. So in the UI, you will see dollar, euro, whatever you want. So you will just, as a user, have your own currency. Okay, so the marketplace is multi-currency. So if I'm in Europe, I will just see it in euros, right? If I'm in the US, I will see it in US dollars. And but underneath, do know that the backing happens by gold. And then, if you buy your capacity, you pay in gold. But then it gets converted to spore, and the farmers or anyone, the hosters, whoever is providing capacity, gets spore. And it's then spore who is the instrument where we burn, because we cannot burn gold, right? I don't think that it's a wise idea to burn gold. So, but we can burn spore, because that's a currency where we can do that with. So that way, they call that a deflationary currency. So spore goes down, right? As it's being used, 10% off. And that way, eventually, the token needs to go up. So all of these things are described here with like a money flow and the token system and how the Dutch auction is going to work. So very much looking forward to your feedback. But I think it's a solid system. And now we will come to the really cool thing in a minute. Well, I can do it now, I guess. So the spore token, there will be 10 billion of them, okay? To be in line to what we told to investors, that was also 10 billion. But now comes the very cool thing, and that's different. Every TFT holder will be able to buy 10 spore with 1 TFT, right? You can keep your TFT, that's perfectly fine. It will be usable for buying capacity and so on. But I think it's probably better that you go into the project Mycelium and you can then make that decision yourself. And with 1 TFT, you can buy 10 spore. Now, this spore is the currency of Project Mycelium, right? So what it does is it gets valued at $0.01 per spore in gold, because it's the same. It's linked to that. In the beginning, it's linked to that ore. So that means that we're literally, compared to today, we're giving an upside of about 20 times to what the TFTs were today on the free market, if not more, because I didn't even follow what the current price is. It's too low. The current price corresponds to a market cap which is not corresponding to the size of the project and to what we have built. And we all know that. And that's why we need to do it a little different, that we can show to the world what's happening. And from day one, people get a stable currency where they know that if they host, they get a currency which can pay for their energy and so on. And there are rules around that, how that will work. But of course, we as a community have made all of this possible. And that's why whoever wants to can buy 10 spore with 1 TFT. And that's where the 10 billion spore comes from. So Mycelium hosts, they earn spore and they get 80% of the rental price. And then there is a marketplace and a liquidity pool or an exchange. Okay, so you get your 80% in spore. And this is here an example. And then what can you do with that spore? You can use that to buy more capacity, or you can hold it, or you can use the exchange. Okay, and that is the heart of the system. And I apologize for the amount of information I'm giving here today, but I think, yeah, we need to announce that one day anyhow. The information will be available, but basically, so phase 1, there is a fixed price for spore. That's this $0.01 US. So whoever comes in through that gold, then you can buy these spores at that price. And that gives liquidity, and we will do that till the end of June. Okay, so for the first 6 months, whatever money comes in goes into a pool, and then we get a balanced pool between ore, which is gold, and spore. And that's why the system works and why you need 2 currencies. Otherwise, you can't do that. So you have a fiat currency, a stable coin, gold in this case, and you have spore. And that we don't have today. And it's this combination which will make spore liquid. So that means that for the smart reader here, if you convert your TFT to a spore, you actually get your value at $0.01 per TFT. That's what that means. Okay, and that values the project on $100 million, which I think is quite fair to go at this point. But how do we protect that people will dump the token? Because then we're still nowhere. And how do we make sure that the liquidity goes to the right people? And that's where Dutch auctions come in. More and more also in crypto landscape, Dutch auctions are being used because more people have this problem. If you want to use decentralization, you also want to potentially protect your user base. And Dutch auctions are a very good mechanism for that. We will explain it better in the future. I cannot do everything in one meeting. But basically, it's a mechanism which is very well understood, where people can put in their sell order, buy orders, and then everyone has the same price. And it's the lowest price which matches the sale, or the highest, depending if it's a sell or a buy. I always have to think which side of it. 0% fee, and the buying of spore you can always do, because otherwise people come in with a credit card or they come in with fiat digital currency, or a digital currency. So you have that. You always have to be able to do. And now comes the unique part, the treasury we have. So what we build up in phase 1, and there could be also investors coming in there. Okay, that's another thing we will do, or try to do. Is that treasury will be used to put bids in. So every time we do a Dutch auction, which is once a week, 5%, that might actually be too much. Anyhow, I need to go back to my tokenomics guys. A certain percentage of the pool will be used to put a buy order in of Spore and a sell order. So this means that out of the existing liquidity, people who want to sell can sell, but if there is too much liquidity, it will stop. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that this is a system which prioritizes valuation above liquidity so that we don't lose the value of the token, but then we just need to wait longer till the value is at the right level. But it means that people cannot dump, and that I think is important. So the value will go up because of the 10% burning and other reasons, right? Because the moment people need more than $100 million capacity, there are not enough tokens. So obviously the price will go up, and also by burning, right? So just imagine the mental exercise. If you have 100 million tokens, not 100 million tokens, if you have a billion tokens and you spend them, and then 10% of them will be burned. So now we only have 900 million tokens, right? So this way the amount of tokens goes down, which again gets the price to go up. Again, like I said, it's a lot of information, kind of getting at the end. It was not the intention to go through everything, but you can at ease now go over it, ask questions. I think the system is kind of there. Which of course we're not finished. Tokenomics guys are still looking at it. There can be still small changes, but already, it's kind of the same what we told before. We just try to make it more concrete. So we have a description of the Dutch auction. There is even a white paper now. There are many frequently asked questions answered. We explain the two different currencies. We have two example nodes where we very concretely can explain how people can make money by these nodes. We will start promoting them soon. We will not sell. It's up to people to do it themselves or go to one of the partners to buy them. That's the bidding system which we explained. So the fact that people can just accept them, and that way they get revenue for their nodes. And we did an analysis of the floating as well. So that's kind of a thing we wanted to talk about. And then we have lots of questions to go into details. So changes compared with September, Spore and OR, so the two names, it's no longer Inca and CC. I hope that you guys agree that they're probably better names. It's all about Mycelium. And then we have Mycelium Cloud, virtual data centers, networks, and so on. That was already told before. Where, it's all about real-world applications. That's nothing new, actually. We just will focus the communication on it. It's all about simplicity. How can we make it super easy? So in the UI, it will have to be super easy. I think we already did that partially. If you look at the way how the Mycelium client works. Who of you guys has already the Mycelium client on their machine? Not yet? Some? Okay, good. So you should, this is one of the things I invite you to do. Let me quickly show it to you. In Mac, it's kind of getting something. There will be new features coming, but DNS is now coming. This is how it looks like today. So basically, this is my virtual network adapter to our ecosystem. It has DNS inside. I'm now connected to 10 peers. You can see it's kind of easy. I can see what my peers are, how fast they are, and the selection happens automatically. And this is cool. We have a new VPN in. So we basically, and this is super cool.
Great.
Yeah, this means that if you put it on auto and you want to use a VPN, you just click on it and it will look for, Mariana's coming. Right. Mariana, I think you put yourself to the front or something. Yeah. Yes, we're back. Or maybe it was just for me, I don't know. I still don't know this tool. So this is, we're adding DNS and web publishing to this thing. So whoever has this on the laptop or their phone, you literally are plugged in now to the Mycelium network, and we get very good response on this because this is actually looking for the shortest path, always communicates, and it can get around a lot of things. So try it out, it's a good thing. Yeah. So yeah, so Spore and TFT, I hope you guys got that, and I hope you're excited about that.
Swissful says in the chat that it looks nice. Thanks, Swissful.
Yeah, the off-takers, the hosters, and then the new book around virtual data center, which we still need to work on. That's it. I think we saw a lot of information. I think we went through.
Do you want to talk about Mycelium Cloud.tf or?
Well, people know that by now, isn't it? I think.
I don't know.
No? Yeah. Do you see my screen, everyone?
Yeah.
What is this?
No, but Mycelium Cloud.tf for the deployment.
Yeah, TF. Yeah. Okay. So this is our first attempt to make something very user-friendly. I think the team did a good job. It's very simple. This by itself is, I believe, a very sellable commercial product where people can deploy their own Kubernetes clusters. Of course, this is not for the average end user. This is still for people who are integrators or service providers or solution, application providers. But the VDC will change that, so it becomes more usable for more people, or the hero, of course. So yeah, I can see my payments, my billing history. I can just use a credit card, top up. I have my SSH keys, my profile, and then my nodes, so I can reserve nodes. It's all very simple. I can select what I need, which countries, GPU or not. I can look at the health of a node, then I get all the metrics. Right? So it's super simple. And then I can see my clusters. So in this case, this is a cluster. I have 2 nodes. This is my configuration file, which is typical for Kubernetes. I can download it. And if
it's
you
all
make
using the Mycelium network, right?
It's all connected to Mycelium network, yes. So let's make a cluster together, right? So okay, let's call this cluster make. Hey, make, you get a new cluster. Make 1,000. So we had a master. You can change like what is the size of the master, what do I want. So let's say I want 2 masters. This way I have redundancy. I want some workers. Okay, when I click continue, and now I can select where I want it to run. So you can select your nodes wherever they are. Up. And you click on continue, and you deploy the cluster. And now I have a Kubernetes cluster deployed.
Nice.
That will take a couple of minutes. But now I have actually this. In other clouds takes a lot more time. And now and then soon we will have this virtual data center on top, which will allow you to deploy applications as easily. So you can just say, okay, give me my cluster, put it on Nelson's machines. We can have a hidden publicity for Nelson. And then you have your cluster, and you can then use these Kubernetes tools to deploy whatever you want, basically. So this is for everyone to play with. This is Mycelium Cloud. Then you have Mycelium Network. Then there will be Mycelium the virtual data center. And then there will be the agent framework. So the first 2 are there. And then Q1, there will be the VDC, and then the agent framework will also be Q1 or Q2. Okay, so questions, please, remarks, worries, whatever you want.
Live says she would like to participate.
We can't hear you, Lieve. Lieve, I think you're muted.
The validator nodes, are there still any
Yes, but a little bit later, because this one will first run from the marketplace, and then we will need the validators at one point in time. But not now. That's one of the things which went differently than we thought. As you remember, we thought that we were going to put it on Cosmos, and then, but it was all more complicated than we thought. I think the first priority now is to get all the nodes are decentralized, the cooperatives who can do the governance and so on, get that working first, and then we can afterwards see how we can also then decentralize some of these functions. So that's an unfortunate thing where we have huge delay compared to what I originally thought, but it just right now doesn't feel like the first priority to do. But thank you for the question, Ian. We should put it in the FAQ, maybe MakerScott.
So, what chain is the Spore and Ore on?
Yeah. So in the beginning, it will be just onto our own backend, and then it will go, but we still need to shop around a little bit, to be honest, but Peak might be one of them. But it will also depend a little bit where we will get our funding from our financing.
True.
And then also in line to the further expansion, let's say. And that's why it kind of serves as well to do it first on our own backend, and then whenever we have the blockchain chosen, we can move it onto that blockchain. We don't need anything specific on this chain for the blockchain, so we can do it on an Ethereum blockchain, or we can do it, actually that's the first one anyhow. So yeah, it's kind of quite open to a choice. Peak is Ethereum compatible, that's why. But I want to, well, maybe someone of the Peak community listens. So yeah, we need to organize us better together if you want to go that direction.
Yep. There's no telling what the new flavor of the week is. Like, some of the biggest, hottest chains from 2 years ago have announced bankruptcy, so it's kind of hard to choose.
Yeah, I know. That's maybe where the validators come in. But look, we're not going to make a choice alone. But who knows? Maybe we're saying in 6 months from now, you know what? Let's roll this different blockchains, and they run, and on these blockchains we run the token itself. I don't know. Let's see where that goes, because some people are telling us that too. I said, you run your own blockchain. It's not that hard, right? Just pick an open source one and run it on your infrastructure. So we have some time, I guess, to figure that out. I think more important is to go live with this system and bring some of the off-takers in and get more nodes up and running again and prove that we have revenue, because that's the thing which we now need to do, prove the revenue. Yeah, and we need to close our fundraise. Let's not forget that too. So we have fuel to do all of this.
Any other questions? Maybe in the chat, if you guys want to speak.
No, people are maybe too scared. Feel free to ask us the questions also after this call. Right? You can reach out in the chat, or thank you, Bruce. I see it. What are the estimates when the new token is live? I hope 1st of January. That's at least our aim. So that, because we need to do it. We're running at the end of the old token, so it's time that people can see how the rewards will go for the new one, right? So next week we're together on the Nile with all the engineers. We have some new engineers, by the way, from Poland, which are super excited, and they are helping us really decentralized, so as part of the system. And yeah, that will be the main topic of that week. If someone else wants to join, it's with the engineers, but it's about defining what is still left to do, basically, and get these things done, right? Thank you.
Well, I think that's good.
Yeah. Well, look, guys. Now it's up to us, huh? It's not just threefold doing this, huh? It's a community thing. We're happy with the new commercial partners that will also give a push. Of course, it's not for tomorrow. Let's be pragmatic here. It's now a journey we need to go through. We need your help to keep positive momentum in the chats and do this migration from where we are today to this new iteration, where certain things work differently, but our token will be protected. And I think that's a very good step forward, so it makes economically sense again. And also that we get reward for all the things we have worked for so long. There will not be immediate liquidity. Let's be fair. There will be priority on the farmers, of course, on the hosters, because they need to pay their electricity bills and stuff like that. But it will allow us to put a healthy system in place where the token will be protected and where Dutch auctions will still give liquidity as soon as possible. Okay. So I'm very looking forward to your feedback. We put a lot of time and energy in over the last 6 months, and thank you everyone for contributing and your feedback. But it looks like we're very close now to the final iteration. Well, we have to, or we won't reach 1st of January. That was a good question. Where can I see these chat things? Here. Will there be a bucket list for the community to know what needs to be worked on more? Yeah, it's a good one. We should do that. Question is how. We tried to do that before, but not that much success. We put them in the forum.
Yeah, but of course on Git, I guess, GitHub. We could have issues there, and then we can link it on the forum.
Look, if there are people who would like to be part of our development, just reach out to us. I think we will be in the ability to pay in the not too far future, but not now. Keep that in mind. We don't have money now, but in a couple of months there should be more funds again. So if people want to develop on something like this, we are looking for good resources, even if it's not full time. So reach out. But yeah, please realize there will be some process, right, to see what we can afford right now and what we can do. But we have now people joining us, new people who know that they will have to wait a while before they can be rewarded. But it's now so concrete that it might be worthwhile for people who can afford that. Yeah, and of course we have tokens too. We have a treasury. Let's not forget. So we can use the treasury as well to reward people. We're also looking for people who know how to work with community, by the way, because that's another complaint, isn't it? We need more people because it's true, we're not really outreaching enough at all. So how can we promote these boxes? How can we find influencers? There are like so many YouTubers, right? They talk about like putting a GPU online and what the crazy stuff they do on it and so on and so on. So if that's another thing we're looking for, people who know how to make outreach and get out there and make nice stories. So reach out for that as well.
I wonder also if we could do maybe an association with farmers and the Mycelium Cloud. So let's say they buy a new node, farmers, and then they want to put it out, then maybe the Mycelium Cloud could advertise it, or people can even have, let's say, a different, not necessarily an instance of Mycelium Cloud, but let's say you have nice servers and you want to bring them, and people can deploy on Mycelium Cloud and know they have the quality hardware.
Yeah, there is a lot of work doing this migration, so people will have to know that, and that's one of the problems. There are many farmers we don't even know. We don't have an email address from them. Yeah, decentralized system, right? We should have thought about the email address at least. But
we have it now, at least for new farmers. So. Always
for new farmers,
we have it now for new farmers. It's good. So
that's a little bit annoying, of course. So there are many people we can't even reach. So if you know still farmers, please reach out to them. So that at least we get to know them and we can reach them and that they watch, because if they want to be part of this new wave, let's say, and they want to put their capacity online and use US4 and so on, we need to be able to reach them. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, everyone. So we spent an hour. I hope it was interesting, and I apologize for the amount of information. Let's make it an incredible 2026. I think this is the moment we have been waiting for, and let's get a lot of commercial things also going on it. And yeah, let us know what we need to do differently, and we'll try to adjust.
All right. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot, Christoph, and thanks everyone for joining. And see you at the later session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.